It's a Colorado crisis. We've had more people die of fentanyl than ever before. The numbers are disturbing. In 2017, 81 people died from fentanyl. That more than doubled in the year 2019 when 214 people died. And then last year, again, overdose deaths increased by 150%. 534 people died. That far eclipses those who have died from cocaine or heroin. And police are fully aware the problem is far from going away, and prosecuting those behind this epidemic just got exponentially harder.
Of the millions of cars that traverse Colorado highways, would you know what's inside them? Luggage, clothes, snacks. That's exactly what drug mules want you to think, that this is no more than a typical drive from point A to point B.
The major highway system is the delivery system.
Drug trafficking happens more often than most of us are even aware of. This month in Eagle County, during a traffic stop, deputies found meth, heroin, and fentanyl stashed away. Any compartment imaginable is used as space for traffickers desperate to transport their drugs. Fentanyl is 100 times more potent than morphine, 50 times more powerful than heroin. What amounts to 6 grains of salt is lethal for most users.
It's very, very potent and it's very addictive. And you can't tell it by looking at it or tasting it or smelling it.
That's why busts like this in Colorado Springs are especially worrisome. Among this stash is 1.5 pounds of fentanyl, enough to wipe out entire towns.
The cartels have people in place in major cities all across the United States.
Scott Whittington is the commander of the Colorado Springs Metro Vice Narcotics Unit.
When you get prescribed pills, it's a blue pill with an M on it. If you buy those on the street, a very good chance that those are mostly fentanyl.
He says fentanyl is cheap to produce. It's often mixed with other drugs without users even knowing. And it comes with a higher but much more precarious high. So dangerous that if there's even a suspicion that fentanyl is present, investigators have to suit up in hazmat gear. Extreme precautions have to be taken just to store it as evidence. We got a first-hand look at the evidence locker in the belly of the Police Operations Center.
Right in here is the drug room. So we're going to come in here, and we've just got things set up in various ways where we put them away, put items away of evidence. Right here is where we keep the fentanyl.
Okay,
So,
in its own area.
It's kept in its own area, away from everything, and it's in plastic boxes.
Once it's tested, it's double-bagged, stuffed in a paint can, taped, and stored.
I smell the marijuana.
Right.
What all is in this room?
Just any kind of drug that you can think of is in here. So you have meth in here, you have various types, you have edibles, various types of marijuana, you have cocaine, you have heroin, any kind of drug that you can think of we have in this room.
Okay. And yet fentanyl really is treated with these kid gloves. So
respect.
Users can buy the drug online where it's manufactured in labs out of China or through the network of suppliers with ties to Mexico.
The largest portion is coming, drug couriers bringing stuff up through Mexico and distributing it throughout the United States.
Customs and Border Protection has apprehended nearly 5,600 pounds of fentanyl already this year. That's just as of the beginning of April. It far outpaces 2020 when 4,700 pounds were confiscated the entire year. Drug smugglers package them in sheets, even in burritos. The drug eventually winds up here. It's no wonder El Paso County Coroner Dr. Leon Kelly is well acquainted with fentanyl.
They depress the respiratory center. So the part of your brain that says, you got to keep breathing, you got to keep breathing, it suppresses that and it makes you go to sleep. We see at this office many times, usually once a week at least, with fentanyl, the tragic consequences of that.
Smaller communities aren't immune either. Canyon City Police finding it there as well.
Major rise in opiate-based narcotics.
One user there leaving half a pill.
They had crushed it, laced it with fentanyl, and repressed it into another pill.
As hard as it is to confiscate, it can be harder to prosecute. Just as fentanyl deaths started to spike, last year the Colorado legislature made possession of less than 4 grams of drugs a misdemeanor instead of a felony.
We used to be able to utilize the punishment for cooperation, and we just it's harder now. 4 grams of heroin is not the equivalent to 4 grams of fentanyl. 4 grams of fentanyl, it kills a lot of people.
Drugs that are here, being taken from one place to the next, stamped with a seal of death.
Now, next month, a Colorado man will stand trial. He's accused of transporting 20,000 fentanyl pills. We plan to follow his federal case.